The wicked watcheth the righteous, and seeketh to slay him. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. This word shows that even if our God's people live uprightly on this earth, the attacks of the wicked against God's people will continue ceaselessly. Watcheth reminds of the image of a wild beast hidden in the bushes to hunt, holding its breath and observing. That is, the wicked do not act by momentary impulse, but they are accused as wicked people who always try to find the weak points of God's people and seek stubbornly for loopholes by following that instinct. In other words, even if we, God's people, try to keep faith and live uprightly on this earth, the wicked, like wild beasts, will stubbornly try to make us fall and devour us. Like the devil, their father, who prowls around us to devour God's people. And seeketh to slay him clearly shows what is the ultimate goal of the wicked. That is, the ultimate goal of the wicked is not just to put the righteous in a difficult situation, but to slay, that is, total perdition. In the context of the Old Testament, this can mean seeking the life of God's people or burying them socially through legal slanders. However, today's meaning is the attempt to trample on the peace, honor, or affection enjoyed by God's people, to bankrupt economically, to break the conscience of faith, to force to make compromises and to succumb to temptation, to make us spiritually dead. That is, the wicked have an evil nature that envies the blessing enjoyed by our God's people and wants to destroy it completely. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. This word proclaims that even if the wicked plan everything without flaw and watch the life of God's people, the ultimate decision on life and death does not depend on the wicked, but on God. Even if the wicked plan and act in a sophisticated way to slay God's people, those plans and execution can only fail. Not leave him in his hand means that God does not remain an outside observer. That is, before the violence or the plot of the wicked devours God's people completely, God will intervene personally to save. In other words, from the world's angle, God's people seem cornered in a dead end, but the spiritual truth is that God's hand holds God's people, so we will never collapse. And judged here can be interpreted in two ways, and both guarantee total victory. One is that when the wicked bring God's people to justice through false testimonies and slanders to bury them socially, God, the judge of this whole world, will unveil that plot and manifest the innocence of God's people before the world. The other is that it can designate God's judgment at the end of the world, and even if Satan and the evil forces try to accuse and condemn God's people on that day, God will never recognize our God's people as sinners, but will declare that they are innocent. Therefore, no matter how much the wicked agitate and rage, our God's people must live with the faith that the only judge of this world is God, and look only to him alone.